Yeah, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're back again. The channel is My Take on It with Dr. Victor Obasuyi.
My name is Azuka Obasuyi. Welcome, each and every one of you. It's nice to meet you again.
Yeah, so thank you guys. So today we're going to take you guys through a topic that has been trending recently from the Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria, where there's this professor that was requesting to sleep with one of the students before the student can pass his course. Obviously, I think this is not a very new topic in Nigeria, but it breaks my heart especially to see a professor who's supposed to be at the pinnacle of his career making such a request from a student that is young enough to be his own daughter. These days in Nigeria, with the private university and everything, we have kids going into higher institutions at the age of 16.
Yeah, 15, 16, yeah.
You ask yourself, if I send my daughter to school and I'm paying the child's school fees, am I sending that child to school to be taken advantage of, to be preyed upon by the supposedly lecturers that are supposed to be helping the kid learn, or being a father role to these kids? So it's something that I pondered upon, and I was talking to my wife, and we decided we're probably going to throw our own 2 cents into this issue. Having schooled in the Western world, or probably let's say Canada, where we've lived for more than 25 years, we've had the opportunity or the privilege to be able to see how student-lecturer relationship, what it's supposed to be like, compared to what we had back home or what we have back home. It is mind-boggling to think that this day and age, with the technology available and the world becoming a global village where competition is very stiff between kids coming from back home and here, most of these kids probably want to come here to do like further studies. Mm-hmm. A lot of us that have been here are quite aware of the fact that the Western world tend to look down upon our degrees. It's not as if they believe that we cannot perform, but the question is how much can they trust the certificate that you are bringing from back home when they see things like this on social media trending, where lecturers have to sleep with students, especially the girls, to pass them, or students having to pay lecturers to pass their exams. It is not for me as bad when the lecturer fails the student for not preparing for, or for not reading for the course. The sad part is even when the student does very well, the lecturer refuses to pass that student because she did not sleep with him or he did not pay a certain amount to pass the course. So I think in that case, it's like a double punishment.
You can tell that I'm a bit dumbfounded, because when I heard that, I'm like, has it, come to this level? I also went to school in Nigeria, and I know then that, there were rumors then that, oh, this professor will hold you back, or that one will hold you back, but it wasn't as rampant, and it's not as if it's not something that they do
in your face
as
this one,
right? And most times when you do what needs to be done, there are professors that are known to be like tough nuts. To pass their courses, you have to really read and do extremely well. so that way you don't give them an excuse.
No room.
Or room to hold you back. There are some marks that you get. You know deep down within yourself that you did way better. But most times, again, then as a girl, I'm like, well, at least I passed, right? Did it break down my average? Yeah, but luckily for me, I was very, very good, in school. So if I'm doing very well in other courses and yours is the one that I just, didn't really do well in, it will quickly raise a red flag.
Yeah, which is where the school, I think the school's supposed to come in. If a student is doing very well
in every other courses, and yours consistently is the one that they keep failing, and this student is known to be an A student, I think it should raise a red flag. There should be an investigation. But from what I've been away from the country now for quite a while, but from what I'm hearing, a lot of these professors and the heads of departments are just in one cover.
They collaborate.
They collaborate because it doesn't
make
sense.
And cover for each other.
They cover for each other. It doesn't make sense, but it's saddening considering the young age that most of these kids are. They are absolutely terrified. A lot of them will be terrified to tell their parents that this is what is actually going on, and they will rather submit to what is going on rather than coming up to their parents. And there is the peer pressure where other people or other girls will tell them, well, this is the way it is, welcome to the world, right? And thinking that, okay, I'm a big girl, I have to do what I gotta do.
You now begin to think it's the norm.
You think it's the norm, but it's not. It shouldn't be the norm. It is really saddening. Sometimes we do have the privilege of having students that come in and they'll tell you they came with all the degrees and with the awards and the rest. But I think we even had a situation where someone wrote a letter. I have to ask. I brought a letter to Victor. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what is this? Are you telling me this person is a graduate? Of course, I thought it was just a joke, but it wasn't a joke. So when the level of education is already down, or the level is such that people can just pass by, as they call it, submitting, like, what impression are you giving? How are you going to come over here and compete? How are you going to come over here and, comfortably, with pride, stand up and say that my degree is from so and so university, if one of the elite universities...
Yeah, like Ife.
Yeah, if one of the elite universities is now being implicated in this, and from what we've heard, it's quite rampant.
No, but the school
is common.
The school said the professor had a similar episode in the past, based on what I heard, and they disciplined him, and they warned him never to repeat it.
Yeah.
For me, I think
he shouldn't be there in the first place.
Shouldn't be there in the first place.
Shouldn't be there.
If there was enough, of course, you can't convict somebody without reasonable, without substantial evidence.
Yeah.
But if there was something that happened before that prompted the school to have done all their investigation and it ended up with a warning, then and now it's coming up now, dragging the school into the mud. I think from day one, the school should recheck their disciplinary measures and make sure that they should intensify it. It is sad. It is very, very sad to find your little niece. We have like little ones. Yeah. It could be your child. It could be your nephew, your niece. And most of the times, like you rightly pointed out, at that age, 16, 17, most of them are even afraid to talk about it, which is where I even commend, although the people were blaming this girl for doing what she did, I think I commend her effort for at least for bringing the situation into limelight. Yeah. Tomorrow, any of the lecturers that probably, before they embark on such stupid activities, will probably think twice. Unlike before, when they just felt all the students are prey. They are to be preyed upon. But it's saddening. It's very, very sad to find a professor condescending that low. Here you find students don't understand what the lecturer is talking about, they can comfortably go to the lecturer's office to knock and say, okay, you know what, Prof, I don't understand this topic. The lecturers, most of them operate an open door policy, say, come in. They take you through that process. Can you do the same thing back home, knowing what you know?
But this also
now
explains why I've heard them also that a lot of parents are moving their kids to Ghana and
or outside the country.
Outside the country. This explains that, because if I have the means and I'm in the country and I have a little girl, of course, even if I don't have the means, I'd rather do double, the work to make sure that I take her where she won't be exposed to such nonsense. Because just think of it, the main aim is for her to learn. Okay, what if this same child feels that if I can do this and get my degree, why
bother studying?
Why bother studying? And this same child will come out and probably have all the highest grade, and will now keep wondering what is really wrong. Why we have graduates, people that are graduating from school.
No, but it's
not really knowing anything.
Why bother with examination?
In the first
examination in the first is supposed to be able to weed out the grass from the crops.
Yeah.
So at least every examination is geared towards making sure that whoever holds that certificate is able to deliver.
Proudly say that.
Right? Is able to deliver. Yeah. So if you sleeping with the student is what is the criteria that you use to pass them, then how do you expect that child to be able to come out tomorrow and if maybe the kid read engineering, what kind of work do you expect the child to produce? If the child is an accountant, what kind of how do you expect that child to be able to hold his or her own outside when it comes to the outside world, having passed through? Instead of going through the proper channel, all the illegal...
Yeah, but also the child that, like you pointed out, that is used to sorting, that is used to taking the shortcut. You're not doing yourself any favors, because when you come out, you cannot comfortably be able to say anything with an authority that on that subject. You find like how long are you going to keep sorting?
Yeah, but when kids get used to doing it that way at that stage,
yes,
by the time they're looking for a job, they sleep with whoever is the chairman of the company to get the job. Then they rise through the rank doing the same thing. So it just tells you a lot of time we blame the government. Who exactly is the government? If I as a lecturer can proudly graduate kids that are not supposed to be doctors, I graduate them, and because they've sorted me out, they pay their way through. Tomorrow, my own parents can be that child's patient.
The patient, yeah.
I can even be in an emergency situation and be that person's patient.
And it's that same thing of what goes around will end.
What goes around comes around.
End up coming around.
Karma has a way of catching up with you.
Karma is
if we look at it from that perspective, look, you're passing this student, or if the child fails, let the child repeat. Let the child repeat. Once you're sure, okay, this child is capable now, then you can go to the next level. But it's sad when the one that's not supposed to go to the next level is going through. But the one that really merits going to the next level is being held back by the lecturer for not because of inability to perform academically, but just because the child, that girl refused to submit to you, or the boy refused to pay S amount of money. How many parents have the money to foot those extra things after paying their kids' school fees?
Which is why the level of corruption, is pretty high.
So in what you're doing, you now force that child. If the parents cannot afford it, you force that child to go and look for money from wherever he or she can. What do you think the child will do? Most times they end up doing illegal stuff to raise the funds, just because they have to graduate. How many kids can comfortably come to their parents' home and tell the parents that, look, I have to give my lecturer 10,000 naira to pass the course? Parent, as a parent, the
No,
first thing
but
that will come to my mind is, why are you giving the lecturer 10,000 naira? Did that means you didn't study?
No, but I don't think the lecturers are demanding 10,000 naira. From what I heard, it's actually a lot of money. It's more, it's way.
No, but that's just a number that came to my head.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, first and foremost, who, as a parent, right? How would you feel if your child comes to you? Maybe you have 4 or 5 children, like the way it is back home. So that means every semester, 10,000 for each child. That's 50,000 for each child. How much is your salary?
The salary. Most people are.
How much is your salary?
Most parents are. They have the basic income.
Right. And now a lot of parents from the new students that are coming into the country that I interact with, they tell me like, Lord, even most times these days parents pay for the kids.
To do what?
To sort their way out.
To sort their way.
Parents actually go to the lecturers to pay those amounts to make sure their kids graduate. Then some are willing to pay extra for their kids to graduate with high grades, so they can get, the parents know they have the connection to get them this job in multinational firms. Multinational firms, some of them want you to have graduate with a 2-1. It's a second class upper.
Yeah.
So parents are willing to start sorting these lecturers from day one, so that the kid can graduate with the second class upper. Once the child graduates second class upper, then the parents can now use their own influence to push their kid into these multinational companies or into the best positions.
And what happens when they get there ill prepared to handle those jobs,
of course,
the rules and
the parents don't care so long as the child is in that place and they're making a good income. That's all the parents are concerned about.
It's pretty sad.
It's sad.
It's pretty sad to me though, because when we are looking at this case, you find that I thought it was something. I know it's not something in isolation because because I grew up in the country. But when you now find like you have on one end where lecturers are demanding, sexual favors from female students and demanding monetary favors from male students, but it's even more saddening to find that parents are willing to go out of their way, to now sort these same professors so that their kids will graduate with a certain GPA. The question now is who? Well, I don't think we should be blaming anyone then, because we are all enablers.
It's a system.
We are all enablers in the system. Yeah. So it's easy to come in and say but it's a lot like saying that, but that person's, the crime the person committed is more than my crime. We all committed, like you're all committing crimes there.
It's true.
I know we can say it's easier said than done, we that are outside here, but being outside here also, it has its own challenges.
Of course.
It has its own challenges. It's not.
I believe.
It's not straightforward.
Instead of blaming the government, right? Yeah. If everybody stands up to do the right thing, the system will be a lot. The system works here because there are checks and balances. Even back home, probably that lecturer, if this issue of the professor did not